Hi, I'm Rob Durham, and this is part one of a three-part series I'm doing explaining the process of going from just being an open micer to actually getting MC work at your club where you'll finally get paid.
He tours clubs and colleges all over. He's just published his third book. Give a nice big round of applause for Rob Durham.
Before I start, be sure to subscribe. You can click on the button in the lower right part of the screen. And I appreciate all the likes, comments, and shares. Keeps me motivated to keep giving out free information. And check out my book, Don't Wear Shorts on Stage, available on Amazon. Okay, starting with open mic, there are usually 15 to 20 comics that sign up, whether it's a bar show or a comedy club. There are usually well over a dozen comics that sign up, and you see them in every city, guys or girls that have been doing it for 2, 3, up to 5, 6, 7 years and have never gotten a paid gig. I don't know what keeps them going. If you're not doing an open mic at least one comedy club, you're probably wasting a lot of your time. You're not going to progress in the career if you're just doing bar shows. Your goal should be to get booked as an MC at your home club. This will get you a lot of weeks in the future if you do it right. And it'll help you progress through the ranks of being a comedian. So you got to start with your home club and get an MC week to really get your career going. If your city has more than one comedy club, check with other people that MC and see if they're allowed to do both clubs. Most managers don't care at the MC level, so it'll improve your chances. One of the overarching themes of my book is you have to be liked by 3 different things. You have to be liked by the audience, by the other comedians, and by the club itself. If you're falling short in any of those 3 things, you're going to put a very low ceiling on your career, and I'll explain why. First thing I'll explain is the most obvious, the audience. You have to be liked by the audience, but not all audiences are the same. A lot of open mic audiences are a lot different than what you're going to see at a club on a Saturday night. And that's what you want to kind of train your act to please and relate to. Open mic crowds are a lot of time a little more younger. You know, they're out at 10:30 on a Tuesday night. So that's a lot different demographic than where the clubs are going to make their money. So you have to adjust your material accordingly. Next time you're at open mic, sit back and jot down every topic that all the other comics go through. And you'll notice a trend of a lot of overused things, especially from white guys in their 20s. There's a lot of loneliness, being single, doing drugs, talk about porn, stuff like that is just overused. And if you think about that, that's not going to come across well to a Saturday night show. Think like a 7:30, 8 o'clock show at a comedy club. You're going to have people on dates. Let's say there's a couple that's 32 years old. They're on their first or second date and they're in the front row. They're going to feel awkward by a lot of that material. They're not going to be able to relate, and they're going to be worried about what their date is thinking about, what they're laughing about. So, when they're uncomfortable and cringing, you're not going to do as well. So you got to adjust your material accordingly. You might think, well, that's not fair. Headliners are dirty, they get away with it. There's some differences on that. That's later in the show, people are drinking more, and headliners are able to pull those jokes off a lot better. If you're doing the first 5 or 10 minutes of a show, that's like shifting from first gear into fourth gear, and the crowd is not ready for that. It just doesn't work. So that's one of the main differences, why you can't get away with it. Try and write about topics that other people can relate to. If you're in a bigger city, you can write jokes about the things that happen locally. Current events, your background, relationships, if you're in one. Even exes are fine to joke about. You got to think of stuff that the rest of the crowd can relate to, though. A lot of comics make the mistake of trying to get pity from the stage, especially about being lonely and single. Not once when I was younger did a girl ever come up and say, "Wow, you sound really lonely. We should probably hook up after the show." That doesn't happen. So, stop trying to get laid from the stage. It doesn't work. Once you establish a really good open mic set, the hardest part is over. And in part 2, I'll explain about how the other comics can help you. For more in-depth explanation on this whole process, check out my book, Don't Wear Shorts on Stage. Again, available on Amazon. And like I said before, please subscribe to my station and appreciate the comments. See you next time.